supposed to be done by tonight.
Landscaping's the icing on this Maple Grove construction site.
For the opening tomorrow.
Still, Darren Rivers doesn't expect an audience.
I got here at 11.
I was here about 12.
Actually wondering what they're doing. They've been sitting there for most of the day.
Nils and Jeremy park it, waiting to fill the hole in their belly with a Krispy Kreme donut. There they sit outside Minnesota's first Krispy Kreme in decades, to be the first when it opens tomorrow morning.
They're little pieces of heaven.
Number 3, Josh.
Nils' brother drives 3 hours from Marshall to join the vigil, and just in time.
Whiz, right off the line. Thank you.
A sample and a first for Josh.
It's more than I ever expected.
I thought it wouldn't hurt him to just have a little taste.
Tomorrow's latest taste of Minnesota.
I don't think I could go back to another donut. These things are tasty.
I think we have tremendous customer loyalty, and it's the result of 65 years of brand equity, starting with a really one-of-a-kind taste treat. I'm Stan Parker, Senior Vice President of Marketing at Krispy Kreme. When we open a store in a market now, our customers are starting to camp out.
I just can't believe it.
Why can't you believe it?
Because I never saw this much stir over a donut shop in my life, and I'm old.
Most recently, we had a man in Springfield, Missouri camp out 12 days prior to the opening so he could be the first one in line to get a hot donut. Well, the essence of the Krispy Kreme brand is the hot donut experience. And by that I mean you can actually come into a Krispy Kreme store and watch the donuts being made. They go through the proofing oven, they cook on one side, flip and cook on the other side, and go through the glazed waterfall. And then you can actually get that donut and eat it while it's hot. And one thing you'll always notice about people when they're in the store, even if they're in a long line, they're always smiling.
It's a donut store and much more.
And much more. It's much more than just a donut store. And we talk about it internally in terms of creating opportunities for magic moments to happen with our customers.
We were a Southern secret for 50 years. We didn't grow. What is so surprising to me is as we've grown outside of the Southeast and even into Canada, the story is very similar. A story about when they first had a Krispy Kreme, a story about when they did fundraising as a Girl Scout, a story, you know, just with their grandpa after church, some meaningful story. So it's amazing to me that it's out there everywhere, and really the world is so small.
We lived, you know, about 25 miles outside of the capital of North Carolina, which was Raleigh. And, you know, maybe once every month, 6 weeks or 8 weeks, or once every 2 months, you know, we would go into Raleigh. But if my brother and I, if we were good, we always were given the treat of being able to go buy Krispy Kreme donuts. And this is going back to the early 60s and late 60s. And even going back to that time frame, you still had what we have today. You could watch them being made, and we just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. You know, the glaze, you could see them being glazed, and you saw all the conveyor belts and all the stuff moving and going around. And so as a small child, I got to kind of experience that, what I'm in the business of watching people experience today. So it's just so neat to have done that as a small child, and now this be a business I'm involved in. It's just, it's kind of cool. I'm Jimmy Strickland. I am the area developer for Western Missouri and the state of Kansas. People always ask me, what is it about Krispy Kreme that makes a guy in Springfield wait in line 12 days before it opens? Tell me what that is. Or tell me why people, you know, will stand in line for 2 hours. Tell me why people will sit in their car in a drive-thru for an hour and a half. I can't. And, you know, if you think about other concepts, I mean, if you went to McDonald's and were in the drive-thru for 2 hours, one, you wouldn't have stayed. It's all about that logo. This brand, this logo has such an emotional appeal to it. You know, you'll hear people call it, it's almost like a cult following.
Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme.
I can't stop.
They're wonderful, and I've had them in Atlanta, and they're beautiful, wonderful there, and everybody should come. Everybody, and nobody paid me to say this. They're wonderful. They're wonderful.
Oh, Krispy Kreme, how tasty are your donuts?
The biggest opportunity that we've taken advantage of is talking to our customers and understanding what resonates with them with the brand, and then trying to give those things back to them. A good example would be the whole hot donut experience and the way we went in and redesigned our stores to make the donut theater a more visible part of the store, create more seating, and block out times in the morning and the evening for the retail customer to have the hot donut experience. We try not to focus as much on competition as we try to focus on how we can elevate the Krispy Kreme brand experience for our customers. One of the things we've learned that I think has made us a stronger company today is during a period in the 80s when we were owned by the Beatrice companies, we tried to diversify our product line, and we had soups, sandwiches, cookies. We even tried bagels a little later on in the early 90s, and we just didn't do well. It wasn't part of our core competency. And so I think it's made us, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And today we're focusing on what we do best, which is donuts and coffee.
A box of donuts, when it's all said and done, cost us $1 to make, okay? So would it be better for me to buy $1,000 worth of radio advertising, which I may get 3 spots for? Or would it be better for me to take 1,000 dozen donuts and pass out to people? I think it's better to give the donuts out. It gets a product in people's hands. They're able to taste. We're all about taste. People come and say, hey, you got a dozen in your truck? And you go, sure do. You want one? And they go, are you kidding? I go, no kidding. Here it is. And that instantaneous smile. But again, it's all part of that process of making us the donut of Kansas City.
We're very local in our marketing. We have a universal strategy, but we try to be very local and relevant in the local communities we're in. I would describe it as being like grassroots. We don't do a lot of traditional things like advertising. We do more PR and community relations types of programs.
When we look at the history of our company and how we began a close-knit family type of company for many years, I think that that's where our spirit of community really began. Hi, I'm Sam Fowler. I am the Community Partners Director for Krispy Kreme Donut Corporation. When we opened our first stores in communities, that many people took a chance on us and gave us a try, and we've got to find ways to give back. Our fundraising and our community outreach is, again, a part of the idea that wherever we are, wherever Krispy Kreme is located, we want it to have the feel that it is the local store, not that it's this national brand, this corporate entity, that it belongs to that town, that city.
What did we bring to the good people? We bought a hot Krispy Kreme original glazed donut. I mean, we really did. And then, secondly, you know, we brought the opportunity for people here in Kansas and in Missouri to raise a lot of money for nonprofit groups. You know, we are so involved with our community through our fundraising programs. You know, to hear the stories and to get the letters of kids going on field trips to Washington. We had a group this past year from Springfield that planned a trip to Australia. A group last year in Wichita were able to have a computer library, bought 9 new computers to put there because of selling Krispy Kreme donuts. So, you know, we've done a lot. We've brought the donut, but we've also brought some good fortune to people to be able to do some great things.
Historically, Krispy Kreme is one of the original product fundraising companies. In the South years ago, if a group organization wanted to raise funds, they generally had to have a car wash or a bake sale or a spaghetti dinner or something like that. There just wasn't a product that people could sell and make enough money on it to make it worthwhile, except for Krispy Kreme. We have a product that truly is a good fundraising product. It's easy to sell, people like it, it's enjoyable, it's a treat, people know what they're getting. So it works well for groups to use it for fundraising. And really it's helped to build our brand throughout the South where we began, because this was the only way that many people could get a fresh Krispy Kreme donut was through a fundraising group that had come to the store early in the morning and picked up 100 dozen and gone back to the school and given it out to the students, and they go to their neighbors and get it to them, knock on their door and say, would you like to buy a box of Krispy Kremes? And they're just getting ready for breakfast, and it's just been a great treat. So it has a rich tradition for us in helping to build a brand as well. But for Krispy Kreme, it's always been about community. It's always been about what are the kinds of things that we can do to be a part of that community. And our fundraising programs have certainly helped us to build a lot of relationships with our community. And so we have tried to do things to help nurture those relationships. One of our programs that we do is, we call it our Krispy Kreme Math, our Good Grades program. And this is something we try to build relationships with our schools. Each time the students get the report cards, and this is primarily a K-6 type of arrangement, but we honor it most any level. But they can bring the report cards in the store, and for each A that they have, we give them a free donut. Teachers tell us that it's a real incentive. Our newest program is a program that we call our Stick With It Kids program. The poster is like this. It's a nice big color poster, and it has Stick With It Kids, and it's in the shape of a donut. And the idea is that the teacher can take this, post it in the room, and can write a goal in the center of the donut. For example, my kids will learn their multiplication tables by the end of November. And when the student completes the goal or reaches the goal, they get to write their name on these happy little success sprinkles. And they write their name on there, and they peel off like this. The teacher puts it on the donut, so when all the kids have reached their goal, they end up with a donut that's basically decorated with sprinkles, like one of our sprinkle donuts. They bring this into the Krispy Kreme, and we'll trade this for 2 dozen donuts that the teacher can take back and treat the class as a reward. We like to hang these in our store so our customers can see it, and of course the students will come back and bring their parents to see it and that type of thing. So this has been real popular, something new we're doing, and again it's a part of our outreach to the community to try to build some relationships, and it's totally free of charge to the teachers, and we enjoy doing that for them. Last year, we actually helped schools and groups and organizations make over $27 million through fundraising with Krispy Kreme. So we're really proud of that, and we're hoping to keep that going as we grow our business and expand our territories. We also introduce our fundraising and our community programs, and we're hoping to, in the future, to be able to help even more people.
Why go global? That's a good question. About 10 years ago, we started looking at franchising in the United States, and we have successfully franchised all the major markets in the United States and have development agreements. And obviously the next step is to go international, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to take the product and the brand and the culture to many different cultures across the world, actually. I'm Phil Wall. I'm Executive Vice President of Worldwide Development. Basically, our strategy is to look at the existing markets, what other franchises have been successful in certain markets. For instance, in Japan, there are over 1,300 Mr. Donuts. So the donut is pretty prevalent there. We targeted Canada earlier and had our most successful openings. We're looking at Mexico, the UK, Australia, Japan, and Spain to start with. We think they fit very well with our product. Plus, we've been able to find some really good partners in those markets. And that's really our number one priority is who can we find as our partner? If we have a country that we're thinking about entering, or we find a partner that we think is just the best and will work really well with us, then we'd probably entertain going to that country sooner. The greatest barriers that we've had, but we've been able to overcome, are the trade issues with our mix. For instance, in the UK, they're big on GMO, genetically modified. And so if you have soybean that's in our mix that's genetically modified, you're not supposed to sell it in the UK, and so we've had to work through those issues. Japan has been a challenge as well. The Asian real estate is much different than the real estate in the United States. As we look at sites here in the United States, we typically look for freestanding units where we can put a drive-through in. Our buildings are 4,000 square feet or so. In Asia, we're going to have to modify our concept somewhat to go into downtown Tokyo or into Seoul or Taipei, where we may have to have a smaller concept without a drive-through would be more walk-up traffic. But what we're planning to do is carry the same theme of the American concept, the Krispy Kreme over there, but most importantly, the same product. In Mexico, and in Spain, we may have our product, we may offer a variety of donut products that will fit to their market. For instance, in Spain, a lot of the donut, instead of the glaze, will be a powdered sugar on top, and we may offer that. We currently offer it in Southern California in several of our stores that are located in Hispanic areas. As far as hot dogs, chicken salad sandwiches, or dim sum, or anything else, absolutely not. Certainly we're sensitive to the local markets if TV or radio or whatever is the most prevalent form of media to get the word out. We're also sensitive to certain terms, and Australia has a lot of slang terms, and we got to be careful not to use some of those within our marketing. Pretty much we're trying to stick to our core, do what we do best, go into the countries, open it up under our proven business model, and then if for some reason we run into some issues, we'll make changes. We're not going in day one being defeated and thinking we have to make changes.